Hello guys, welcome to our brand new YouTube channel, the Artzy Craftzy Sisters.
Yay!
So this is our first video here on YouTube, and in this video we are going to show you guys how to make a DIY miniature notebook. So before we go straight into the video, I think we should introduce ourselves because otherwise it wouldn't make any sense because we are new here on YouTube. So first of all, my name is Anju and this here is my sister Jais.
Hi. So what do we actually do in this channel?
Well, the answer for that, we mainly do arts and crafts and lots of things related to that, and sometimes we do calligraphy tutorials as well. Maybe we'll do reviewing, product reviews, I don't know. I think I should leave all that to your imagination. So without any further ado, let's go straight into the video. Let's go! Okay, so the things that you need are 2 A4 size papers, some thread, a piece of cardstock, decorative paper, some string or twine, some elastic, a pair of scissors, a hole puncher, glue, tape, and a stapler. So let's get started. Step 1. Cut each of your A4 sheets into 4 equal pieces, like this. Step 2. Take 6 of these pieces and fold each of them in half. Step 3. Bind all these papers together to form a book. If you don't want to bind your book or you're either too lazy for that, you can always go ahead and staple it or glue it together. But here, I'm going to bind the book. For that, take all of your paper pieces together in your hands, like so. Just stack them all on top of each other, like this. Okay. Now, take your hole puncher and punch 2 holes in the middle of the folds, like this. One like this. This is gonna be the top hole. Since this is the top part of the book, and this is gonna be the bottom hole. Now take a long piece of thread like this. This is maybe 70 centimeters or so. Now, what you have to do is feed one end of the thread through the top hole. We're doing this from the inside of the book, just so you know. Now I'm going to leave this end of the thread like so. Okay, I'm going to grab the other end of the thread and I'm going to feed it through the bottom hole. See? I hope you can see it. See? And it's outside. This is the thread coming through the top hole. And this is the thread coming through the bottom hole. As you can see, the top thread, the thread going through the top hole is lesser than the thread going through the bottom hole. So you have to ensure that. Now tie it into a knot at the back of the book. Maybe tie it once more so that the knot is secure. So there you go. Now take the longer thread and wrap this thread around these two holes as many times as you can until the thread runs out. Then tie the rest of this thread with this shorter thread at the back of this book. So let's do that. So now there you go. Now take your scissors and snip off the excess thread you have here. This thread, just snip it off right there. And there you go. Now you've successfully binded your book. It's not really rocket science, but if you're in a hurry, you could always staple it together instead of binding, as I said earlier. I just like the professional look that binding gives, and that's why I chose to do this. Also, you can use a smaller hole punch than this one that I'm using right here. Well, if you have a hole puncher that's smaller than that, I just used that one because that was the only one I had on hand. Now let's go to the next step. Now, step 4, make the book cover. For this, what you need is a piece of cardboard that's not too thick, or preferably a piece of cardstock like the one I have here. This one right here is 15.5 centimeters long and 11 centimeters wide. Now what you have to do is fold it in half. Like this. Now find yourself some decorative paper to cover your cardboard. I'm using this design paper right here. This is 16 centimeters long and 11.5 centimeters wide. You can go wild and choose any paper that you would like the cover to be made with. That said, you can use colored papers, scrapbook papers, or even vintage magazine pages, or you can even leave the cardboard as it is if that's what you like. It's totally up to you. Now open the folded cardboard and lay it on the back of your cover like this, leaving an outline for the cover. I'm going to zoom in for you guys to see. Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to draw straight lines from each corner of the cardboard, and you'll end up with squares on all 4 corners of your cover. So let's do that. Okay, so these are the squares that I'm talking about. I hope you can see them. not exactly squares, but anyway. Now what you have to do is cut all these squares out. So like this. There we go. So as you can see, I've cut out all these squares out of the corners. Now fold it in half. So just fold it in half like this. Now take your cardboard and put it on top of here. And now as you can see, you'll end up with these flaps on all four sides of, so that's coming out of the paper, the decorative paper outside the cardboard. Now what you have to do is glue them onto your cardboard. And there you go, you're done with your notebook cover. Now let's go to the next step. Now, step 5, add some pizzazz. If you want to add some extra charm to your DIY notebook, you can add in an inbuilt bookmark and some elastic to hold your book in place when it's closed. For that, first, get some string or woolen thread like this. I'm using this light pink woolen thread right here. I hope you guys can see. I'm using this to make my bookmark. Also, cut out 2 identical heart shapes out of any paper. I'm using the same paper that I used for the book cover right here. Okay, so now what you want to do is put all these heart shapes on their back like this. Take your string, take one end of the string and kind of stick it onto one of these heart shapes like this, okay? I'm going to get my glue. Okay, I'm going to squirt some glue onto here, not much. Doesn't have to be exact or anything. So I'm going to take that and put that on like this. I hope you can see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other piece and put it on top of the other heart shape like this. So your end result should be something like this. Now I'm going to use a black ink pen to kind of draw some outline on this. Okay, so there you have it. I just outlined the hearts with a black ink pen on both sides, like this. You can avoid this step if you're too lazy to do that, or if you're in a hurry. You could always avoid it, but I think this actually makes it look a whole lot better. Now, just to avoid these two hearts from coming off, I'm going to take some tape and then I'm going to coat these hearts like this. So what I just did is I just took a single piece of tape and then kind of sticked it on like this. Okay, that looks like this. Now cut off this tape, cut off the excess tape, leaving a little bit of outline so that the tape won't come off. Okay, so now there you go. You just coated the heart with some tape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this thread like maybe this much long or something. Going to cut it right there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cardboard cover in my hand and I think we need to make this bookmark a little short, a little bit more short. Into that. Okay, there we go. So I only need like that much. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little bit of space like this, and I'm going to get some tape and I'm going to stick it onto the book like so. See? Take a little bit of more tape. And there we go. Perfect. Now we have this bookmark. Now, step 6, final assembly of our notebook. So for that, I'm going to take the booklet that we made earlier and I'm going to put glue on the back and the front of the booklet. And then I'm going to stick it onto this book. Okay, so there you go. Now you have finished your book. If you want, you can stop right here, but I think it lacks a little bit of finishing touch, and that is our elastic book enclosure. So I'm just taking this piece of elastic right here. This is nearly 15 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the very last part of the book like this. I'm going to take the elastic, going to like fold it inwards on both ends like this, so that equal amounts of this elastic is folding inside inwards like this. Now what you have to do is staple on both sides, on both of these folded pieces. So now there you go. You have made your elastic enclosure. Now let's try it. Let's close the book and take the elastic like this and close it. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I forgot to put the bookmark inside. So there you have it. This is your inbuilt bookmark in there. If you want, you can always go ahead and use another shape for this bookmark instead of this hard shape that I have used here. You can always go ahead and change any of those shapes, and that's quite it. We hope you guys enjoyed our video. So if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Click on the notification bell given right down this video so that you won't miss any of our further updates. So I hope you guys support us all through the growth of our channel, and we highly appreciate your feedback. So please do leave them in the comments. And yeah, see you in our next video. Bye!